Hello and welcome to another Xterra video where I work on my truck. Sometimes I'm successful, sometimes I'm not. And as you can see, I'm not in my driveway today. I'm actually at my friend's workshop. I really like coming over here. There is all kinds of material here, so I'm gonna be working on my truck here today, but I'm not by myself. Probably more guys gonna come over later. But today I'm planning to work on this side of a truck. What I want to do is I want to make a panel to install two cans, one for gas and one for water. I'm not really sure how that's gonna come out yet, but we'll see. And today, as you can see guys, not only me gonna be working, we're also gonna be working on this truck. Well, I'm gonna be maybe helping my friend. We're gonna be building the sliders for this Armada, which you guys also saw on my channel already before. This is one of the coolest trucks I ever saw. I really like it. Everybody likes it. Maybe one day I'll make a full video of it. I'll walk around with a more detailed interview of the owner of this truck, but this truck is pretty amazing. I like it. So this is the two tanks I got, one for the water and one for the gas, and my plan is to mount it somewhere, something like this, something like this. I'll have to figure this out as I go. And to mount that, I'm gonna try to use this aluminum plate, which I got from my friend. Thank you very much for letting me have this plate. So now I'm just gonna have to play with the numbers, measurements, see how I'm gonna mount it exactly, over here. I have to make a support bracket, and then over here I had some already idea to use suction cups and a couple of maybe magnets over here. Hopefully I have all the material needed for this build, so we'll see. I'm gonna try to record as much as possible, of course, but in the end I'm gonna show you how it all came out. So originally my plan was to use these 3/8 U-bolts to mount two of them over here, and that's where I was gonna build my support for the bracket. But my friend is also making a gas tank carrier from the side, and he already a few steps ahead of me. So he actually got these from Amazon. This is a 2-inch brackets, and they work even better. It's less stuff to make, less stuff to MacGyver. So I think I'm probably gonna go the same way using these brackets. Both of them gonna be mounted over there, and then he made this nice looking bracket that's gonna come out somewhere over here. I gotta move my shovel up a little bit, so I may kind of follow his setup, maybe not, we'll see. So I think this is gonna come out better. Maybe it's a little bit more money, but in the end not really, because you still gotta buy this, and when you buy this you just put it in and it's already there. You don't have to make anything, you're not wasting any time. So this might be even better. So now I'm gonna try to make a plate over here. So these brackets are installed. I think this is actually a much better idea than the U-bolts I was gonna use. So now I'm gonna make a bracket over here to come out and down. So that's where the plate is gonna be mounted on. So it's gonna be 6 inches out by about 20 to 21 inches wide, and then I'm gonna have approximately 20-inch band. So I got these two pieces, 21-inch long. This is 4-inch wide, and this is 6-inch wide aluminum, 1/4-inch gauge. So now I'm gonna try to weld this with about 22-degree angle like this. So this is gonna be my bracket for over there. I never welded aluminum before, so this is gonna be a fun experience. Now this is gonna be something like this, but this part hits over here. So I'm thinking to cut this out, notch this out like at least 1/2 inch in. That way I can make my holes over here for the bolts to secure it nice. Okay guys, so I welded these two aluminum pieces together, which are 1/4 inch thick. I know it doesn't look the prettiest again, but this is my first time welding aluminum. I did a couple of pieces tryouts, try to dial in the wire speed and the voltage, but I think it's came out okay. This welding is gonna be on the inside, so nobody's gonna see it, hopefully. And I try to break it apart, it doesn't break, so that should be good. Alright guys, the bracket is mounted, so it's gonna be something like this. So now I have to figure out how much of a plate I need for over here for the gas tanks. Should I go all the way to here and over here? Should I make it smaller? Maybe might as well make it bigger so I can mount 2 gas tanks and maybe something else in between, who knows. So right now I'm trying to do my initial measurements, and what I'm thinking to cut the plate 29 inches wide by 25 inches long. If it's too wide, I can always cut it later, so I think that's what I'm gonna go for now. 29 inch wide and 25 inch long. That will give me about this much space. I can always space this out more in case I want to mount here something else, but I think it's gonna be pretty good like that. Alright guys, I actually redid the whole bracket. I made it wider over here. Instead of 6 inch, I made this 8 inch for future use over here. You never know, can mount something. And I welded this all over again. This side I'm not gonna weld, let it be like that. That should be fine. So now I have 20 degrees over here, about 20 degrees, that's what I need. And also this plate, I bend it slightly, so now when it gets mounted over here, something like that, on the bottom I can put 3 big magnets or maybe 4 big magnets, and that should not go anywhere. So now I'm gonna mark my holes over here, mark them on the plate, drill it, and it's almost getting ready to get mounted. So this is the initial setup. I think this is coming out much better than anticipated. At least I'd like to think so. So now we're here, I'm gonna space it out. I'm gonna see how much space I need over here in order to mount 3 heavy-duty magnets. I'm gonna position them gonna spread them out even over here. Maybe 2, but maybe 3, why not? Gonna put 1 here, 1 in the middle, and 1 closer to the end over here. I think that's gonna be good. So this is the heavy-duty magnets that I got. They're rated for 95 pounds, so I'm gonna put 3 of them. So I may need to use some kind of spacer in between to space it out more, or maybe not. So the first magnet is gonna be just flat like that, and then over here, because of the body line, I may have to put the spacers, but yeah. So now I'm gonna just mark these holes, drill it, and mount them. Now, like I was saying, I'm gonna put tape around the magnets over here, so this edge is not gonna have a direct contact with a truck, so it's gonna be much better like that, I believe. What I'm doing now, I'm putting a bolt with a lug washer on this side, then I'm spacing it out accordingly with washers and putting another nut over here, and then it's gonna go with 1 more nut on this side. Stick it in there, and then with another washer and a nut on this side. This one I have to replace, it's too long, but I think it's coming out pretty good like that. Much later. So now I'm installing these brackets over here, but what I did, I actually replaced these bolts for different ones so they can go all the way through, because the original ones are too short anyways. This is M6 35 millimeters. So I have a washer on one side, and then on this side, one it's all tied in. Gonna have this lug nut, so that way it's gonna be more secure. So it's not only gonna be held by the aluminum threads, but it actually gonna be held by nut and a bolt. So now, just to make this plate nicer, I marked the 3 corners that are gonna be sticking out, except this one, because this one is gonna line up with a bracket. But all of these 3 corners, I just line up with this round part over here to keep it somewhere even. So now I'm just gonna cut it, and that's gonna make it look better. Not just with a sharp corner sticking out, but with the rounded corners. Rounded corners always look better. So now it's just the hard part, trying to figure out, lay this out, how I'm gonna position them I know this is gonna be upside down and this is gonna be like this, but how far apart I'm gonna put them and how much space I'm gonna leave down here, that's what's to be determined. So once I figure that out, I'm gonna mark over here and over here where I'm gonna drill 2 holes, and I'm gonna use long 3/8 bolts, and I'm gonna try to make my own mounting points over here just to save a little bit of money, because if I have to buy 2 of them, it's like almost $80. Don't really want to spend that much money. So I got this 1-inch aluminum pipe that I got from a friend. I pre-cut them by 2.5 inch, and this is what I'm gonna use. Gonna try to make as my mounting bracket. So I put them inside there. I marked the middle. Hopefully that's the middle, more or less. But I gonna have a room for the bolt to play in there. Then I'm gonna make 2 holes through. I'm gonna use this 4-inch 3/8 bolts, which is gonna be mounted from the other side of a plate. Gonna use a washer on this side and a lug nut, so that's gonna keep it in place. And then I also cut this from aluminum over there, this somewhat almost round plates. Maybe I'll try to run them up more, maybe not. Then I'm gonna make 2 more holes in it, and that's basically gonna go over, and that's how it's gonna get secured. So that's what I'm gonna try to make it work. Alright guys, so I think I marked where I'm gonna drill for this my support for the canisters. I think that's where it's gonna be. Hopefully I marked it right, hopefully it's straight. So now I'm just gonna drill this and start working on mounting this in here with the 4-inch bolt. So I drilled all 4 holes with the 3/8 drill bit. I started with a smaller one and gradually made it bigger. So now with the 3/8 4-inch bolt with the lock washer and the washer from the inside, gonna put one of these guys over it. Gonna put washer on top. Now with a nylon nut, gonna make it tight. Gonna repeat the procedure for all of them. Okay, so the support is mounted. I think it's pretty tight. I actually had to change these nuts from nylon nuts to these regular nuts, because the nylon nuts are too long and I feel like gonna interfere with my other part of our bracket. So I just put a washer and a spring washer on the other side and made it tight. Maybe it's not a good idea just to weld this, but we'll see. So now let's see if I can put the canisters in there just to see how it looks. So the water canister goes here and the gas one goes here. I think that's looking pretty good. I think it's coming out pretty good. So now I'm going to be working on cutting these 2 plates, the holes, to go over here and over here. And that's going to be the security. That's what's going to be holding it in place with 2 plastic nuts. And to make my life easier to mark these points better, I just cut out a piece of cardboard and I pressed it against the rods, marked it over here. So now this is going to be my template. Gonna cut the holes over here, mark it against the aluminum plates and drill it through. Alright, and the plates are done, the holes are drilled. Now I'm not gonna lie, this hole I somehow ended up messing it up. It's slightly to the side, but it's okay. It's still gonna get secured. So now I can use this 3/8 clamping knobs, and that's gonna get tight like that. There we go guys, and this is not gonna go anywhere. Nice. I like how this is coming out. I feel like this was a little bit of work, but it's not too much of a work, and it's still way cheaper than if I was to buy those mounts. And yeah, this is secured. Of course, in between I'm gonna put a spring washer to keep it tight. It's not gonna get loose over time from vibration, but this is pretty good. Alright guys, I think that's coming out pretty good. So now I know that everything fits, everything is good. So now my next step will be just to clean it and paint it, and I think it's done. And of course, this is not gonna go anywhere. It sits very secured. Nothing moves, nothing jiggles, nothing. I think that's pretty good. So once again, this is my paint booth, so this is ready to get painted. So hopefully next time you see it, it's all gonna be done. Alright guys, the plate is finished, it's mounted, and it's all assembled. So everywhere I use this with a nail and insert nuts over here, and over here. So that's all sits pretty good and it's all secured. And if you notice, one is shorter, one is longer, and if you can see, it has a hole through it. Just by hand I drill a hole through it,
to make sure so I can secure them with the locks. So let me show you that. Now I previously cut off these two aluminum plates that somewhat matches over here and over here. That sits pretty good. Now originally I was planning to put a lug washer over here and then tie it up with one of those knobs, but I went ahead and I ordered 10 knobs with a nylon insert. That way I don't have to use washers and lose them. I can directly use this. I ordered this from the McMaster, I believe that's the name of the website. You can see that they have a nylon insert. So, and then this should just go like this, hopefully. So this is something like that, and as you can see, it doesn't move, it doesn't shake or anything. So this is not gonna go anywhere. Now to keep this secured, I simply picked up these two locks. This is outdoor lock, that's what it says. That's why I drill over here and over here a hole. So you just open it like that, you put the lock in here, and boom, this is locked, this is closed. So I may actually redo these bolts, maybe make them shorter or something, but I think that's pretty fine. One of the reasons why I also decided to go this route and not to go with the pre-made mounts, first of all, this is way cheaper. Second, I saw a lot of people had trouble with those locks. They go bad, they rust, and then you cannot get to your canister or anything, and you have to just break it and then you have to get a new one. In this case, if this ever goes bad, I have to just cut it, put another $3-5 lock, and that's it. I'm good to go. At least that's an idea. Alright guys, it's all done. As you can see, it's mounted, it's secured with a lock, so hopefully nobody steals it. I mean, if somebody wants to steal something, they're really gonna steal it. This is just to make it harder to steal. But I think it came out pretty good. It's all mounted, it's all secured over here. I don't think it's going anywhere. Alright guys, and another project successfully done. I'm actually surprised how it turned out. It turned out pretty good, better than I expected, so that's a good thing, I guess, right? So overall, it was not too much of a hard of a project. It is a little bit involved, but it's doable. And in reality, you don't really need to weld the top part. You can use two pieces and use like a L brackets from Home Depot and just bend them a little bit and bolt it on, so you can do it as well. You don't have to weld it actually. I mean, if you have access to the welder, then yes, then it's pretty good to do as well. But there is multiple ways to achieve this project. So of course it's not gonna end up staying like that. I am gonna modify it a little bit more. I already have some other plans to what else to add there, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully you guys are gonna like it as well. And of course, as always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'll do my best. I'll try my best to answer it and to help you out, guys, whichever way I can. So on this note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you might find it helpful. And as always, until next time, everybody, bye.